Well then, here we are. The series is out and finished all on the same day. Personally, I'm actually quite glad of that, as depending on the quality of how this show could have turned out, I would have much rather had this over and done with before having to wait week by week to see things progressively get worse. Not that they seemingly did, not entirely at least. Overall, I believe the show was good. It was enjoyable and overall could have been a lot worse. And personally, I went into this show with exceedingly lower expectations than what I saw for many people. But I'm glad that I did, and as such, I was far more pleasantly surprised. And that does seem to be an opinion that I can see throughout the community. Now, despite my praise, I do have some concerns moving forward, especially with the what I believe now to be a very likely potential for a season 2. Simply the law. Now, I know this is something that many of the more purist members of the community will bring up, and though I am not entirely happy, I will not crucify the show for diverging from law and or rewriting it in ways that the fans may not agree with. Unfortunately, Bethesda owns this show. They own the series. The entire IP belongs to them, and as such, it is to do with what they see fit. We may not agree with it, but simply that is the product now. Though, despite this, this is simply what we have to put up with. And this is what allows the series to continue. Bringing in new people who can still experience the older titles and the newer titles and find enjoyment in everything. But that's not what I want to speak about here. What I would like to speak about is simply how the law is now changed. Now, I have seen some videos of people claiming that New Vegas is now not canon. I don't know why this is a thought, though, actually, no, I apologize, that is a lie. I do know. This is simply the extension of the Bethesda hates Obsidian narrative, of which there really isn't any evidence of, despite what people believe. It's a rather stupid rumor and conspiracy theory, which really is only peddled by the New Vegas purists, of which I once was, who believe that New Vegas was the best game to ever be created and nothing should have ever existed after it. There was a time in which I did subscribe to such a notion, though I don't anymore, choosing to just enjoy the series and the IP as a whole for its good and its bad. Though what I wish to talk about is the law and how it has changed, such as apparently now Shady Sands fell in 2277, something which may cause problems with the law for New Vegas, since New Vegas takes place in 2282, and it was not mentioned at all that the capital had been nuked. So I believe that this date may be inaccurate and likely may be subject to change, though we don't know this at the moment. I personally believe this to be a mistake on behalf of the writers, and hopefully may be amended in season 2. As for another thing that I've seen some people complain about, is that Vault-Tec seems to be the ones who started the Great War. I actually have no problem with this. This was the original big reveal for the original Fallout movie that was meant to be released in the early 90s, though, of course, never happened. Though I am not against this, another thing which I've seen far more people concerned about is Mr. House's appearance at this meeting, and that he is now fundamentally been changed from how he appeared in New Vegas. This meeting and his presence at the meeting does cause, or certainly has the potential to cause more problems for the law going forward. As such, at the minute, we do not know when this meeting took place, but we do know that it was prior to this that Mr. House gained the knowledge that a war was inevitable that would wipe out much of the human race. And as such, he very well may likely have been on his way to preparing New Vegas and later himself for that eventuality. This meeting very well may have simply confirmed all suspicions and told him who would be the ones to do the deed. Now, as for why we never would have been told about such a meeting beforehand, simply it didn't matter that, and at the time, this meeting had actually never happened. Though, despite the retcon, truly it doesn't change a great deal, not if the broad strokes are still intact. Things may be changed, as the location of Shady Sands seems to have been changed, yet that happened between Fallout 1 and Fallout 2, and I didn't see anyone crying about that. Going forward, Season 2 will likely involve changes to New Vegas. Drastic ones, perhaps. Though overall, I believe they won't change things far too much. Though, what will be interesting is that Season 2 will very likely give us a canon ending to New Vegas. And with the appearance of Mr. House in the series, in live action, I do believe it will be a House ending. Though, even though I personally do believe Mr. House was the best ending, this is not a decision I have come to based on my simple wish for that ending to be canon. Though, as for how they will handle these changes moving forward, I don't know. Please feel free to give your ideas and feedback in the comments. Though, another thing I wanted to bring up, not entirely related to this point, is another ending to a game of which we didn't have a confirmed ending for. That seems to have not been noticed. Early on in the series, it is mentioned that word has come through from Brotherhood forces in the Commonwealth. As such, this means that the canon ending for Fallout 4 is a Brotherhood victory. I haven't seen anyone pick up on this. Now, this may be because the vast majority of people may believe that the Brotherhood victory was obvious. It's Bethesda. Of course the Brotherhood always wins. Though, the Brotherhood's depiction in the series shows that the Brotherhood is not just an entirely righteous faction. The now West Coast chapter seems to have far more in common with the Midwest chapter, having far more of a seeming to put more emphasis on their nightly ideals and how they choose to act with this, though they hardly show what is expected of a knight or what would have become what we believe to be expected from a knight for people whose first introduction to the series was in Fallout 3, like myself. Though despite this, the Brotherhood will likely continue to play a very, very prominent role in the show going forward. And this may be a good thing, as it may very well show more of the problems that exist with the Brotherhood now and how they have changed once again, whether it be through their new rank structures or another slightly confusing change to how the organization is run entirely. Though, certainly, with the flag as seen in the capital wasteland now being the universal flag of the Brotherhood, this may indicate that the entire Brotherhood has now unified under the Maxim dynasty. We may see factionalism, as seen with the Western Elder in the show, and how he wishes to build a new world with Maximus, though this may just be theories on simply how things are going to go. As said, we do not know going forward. But to save this video running any longer than it really needs to, overall, I enjoyed the show. I do have problems with it, though I do believe these are problems that may be amended in the second season, and hopefully we may have more episodes in the second season that would allow for more time to potentially rectify problems and come up with new and interesting solutions that we did see in the show. Though, I would like to know your opinions. What theories do you have for season 2? Did you hate the show? Did you like it? What are your problems with it, and what do you think it did well? Discuss them in the comments.